I used to work for, well, I didn't work, but I went to an architecture high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so every year they let us go to the armory on, what's it called? On 68th by Hunter College.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we used to, they gave us free trips, whatever. We used to be able to play a couple shows there. So it's fun. It's always fun seeing like someone turning a whole space into something else. It's pretty cool. Okay. I think you're episode 19. I fucked up last time.
Oh no.
And
Why?
I said 20, so now I have to wait for this one to come out first. And that
and
one.
just like switch them.
Yeah. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 19 of Sounds Like NYC. I'm here with my friend Lewis.
Louise.
It's just another way of saying it. Emphasis on another syllable. Tell them about yourself.
Oh,
what do you do?
So my name's Louise. I go by Phenomena Louise. I'm a performance artist and a video installation artist as well. Or you could, include sound in there too. Yeah.
Awesome. So what brought you to doing that?
I started off as an illustrator in high school and, doing the figurative stuff and the still lifes and realism. And I was bored of it. And then when I came to SVA in Manhattan, the fine arts department had more than just painting and drawing. And I was like, oh, let me start experimenting. And then my second year of college, I made my first installation with hair extensions that I braided as like bead curtains. So I know I wasn't expecting to do something like that. And then I was like, wow, I want to make more of these. And then my next one, I filled up a whole space with black balloons and one white balloon. And then I had push pins that were colored the opposite. So they were all white and then one black pin. And then I had my classmates go in to pop every single balloon. So my classmates represented people in power. The push pins represented the power or authority given to them, and the balloons represented the people. And then as soon as they started popping the balloons, they felt that they couldn't stop. It was so much fun. And they were just like, oh yeah, I can keep popping more balloons. And I was
did you tell them after the fact? Like, that's what it meant? And I was like, oh,
yeah.
Fuck.
And they're like, oh shit. And I was like, oh, excuse me. Yeah, and they're like, oh wow. And I was like, yeah, so like people in power tend to abuse the authority that they're given. Yeah, ever since then I was like, I want to make more. Yeah.
So do you feel like your art, because I know every artist is different, but do you feel like your art in particular, like some sort of, what's it called? Society. Like, are you trying to say something about society, right? You're trying to like raise awareness or something?
Yeah, for the most part. Other times it's more like me displaying my reaction, my mental reaction, I guess you can say, because I tend to be kept to myself and I don't like to react too much in front of people. So I let them get inside of my mind. So that was like my last installation piece that I made, where people were pretty much inside of my head about like how I felt about being in an art institution.
Right.
And having to create art that was like perfect enough to like fit into a gallery space, because every gallery space you see, they're all pretty much the same. Like people recreate work that's already been done in a different style, but it's still like something that's already been done.
Right.
And so it just drives me crazy that art institutions are just pushing commercial work rather than like having someone, I don't know, like just do something crazy.
So you think that people are focusing on what sells more than like creativity?
Well, yeah, but I also, for some of them, but I also think it's because a lot of people hear that artists don't make a lot of money, and so they're trying to prove them wrong. But some of the other artists that I know, and I applaud them for that, don't really want to create work for the money. But just for the purpose of getting their message out there.
Are you one of those artists, or you want to make money?
I mean, I do want to make money. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not selling any of my artworks, and I don't plan on selling them either.
Okay. Why? Why is that?
I don't know. Usually I move on after I finish something. I'm like waiting for the next one. So like the old pieces are just there and I don't really care for them anymore. Exactly. So I guess it would be smart to sell them, right? But I don't know. I'm just like, nope.
I'll take them off your hands. I'll sell them for you. I'd be happy to do that.
Sure, yeah.
So what got you into like doing installations? Well, there had to have been some sort of like, moment that was like, you know what, I don't want to do, just two-dimensional work. I want to work with an actual space and make an atmosphere.
Well, because like when I was interested in architecture when I was in high school, but then I was looking into schools for that and there was like too many math classes. I was like, no.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll just continue with the arts. But that was like still something that stuck to the back of my mind. And then one professor, my sophomore year for sculpture class was like, yeah, just do anything. And I was like, I can do that. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to do, but I'll do something. Yeah. And that's where my first installation piece came from. And then ever since then, I was like, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. I love making things that are taller than myself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because I know the reason we met was because I saw some of your work on Instagram, but it was mostly illustrations.
Yeah.
Right? But I didn't know that this is what you... That was just a side part of what you did.
Yeah.
Right?
That's like just to get money in my pocket.
For sure.
To like buy materials.
To fund your other art.
Yeah. Fun. So I was like, why not? I still have some skills left. I will just put them to work.
I want your opinion. Do you think that it's less noble to make art for money than to make art, just because you want to make art?
I don't think it's less noble, honestly. Well, maybe it's just like a personal take, but I feel like anyone has the right to do whatever they want if they want to sell it or not sell it. But for me, I'm like, oh no. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, you're putting something from your head into the marketplace. They get to decide if they want it or if they don't. You know what I mean? You're not forcing anybody to do anything.
Yeah.
And plus, you're funding yourself to make more art and, eventually help more people with that art, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you think it's selfish not to sell art?
Maybe. But the other thing too is that like the work that I create, I don't just want to sell them because I have like a pretty like tight bond with them. They're my babies.
For sure.
I don't just want to like hand them out there. I'll have like a 10-page contract for whoever wants to buy anything like ready. But unless it's a commission, that's something totally different. That I'll be like, all right, yeah, it's a commission. You asked me to make it, there's a contract, a few papers to sign, and the money is exchanged and all of that.
It's like a surrogate.
It's
a surrogate baby.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, here you go. I got the money. All right, you got the artwork.
There you go.
Yeah.
Are you from New York City?
No, I'm from Connecticut, actually. I just stay in New York for school, and then I go in and out a few times.
Are you planning on staying here, or are you going to move back to Connecticut?
After college, well, actually, my last year, I'm hoping, praying to God, that I can live out of the dorms, because they're stupid expensive.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but after I graduate, I do want to stay here, but who knows?
Mm-hmm. Well, I always ask this question because I always think it's interesting. How do you feel like New York City has shaped your art? Do you feel like it's shaped it at all? Do you feel like it's, you can see a difference? Because usually when I interview people, they're usually from New York City, so they can't really pinpoint what it is about their art that is so New York. Mm-hmm. But you're from Connecticut, right? So it's a completely different place from New York City.
Yeah, completely different.
Completely different place.
Yeah, because like the city that I'm from in Connecticut is like everyone knows everybody. You know, you go down the street and then whatever person sees you goes to your parents. They're like, I saw your daughter the other day, and you're like, oh my gosh, like no one can do anything without everybody knowing.
Yeah.
And like you can't go anywhere without knowing everybody and having to say hi to everyone. But here I come in and no one knows me, and that feels great because I feel like I could just be me and not have to be like, you know, a different way just because everyone knows me.
Right.
Like, you know, you have to put on a certain character.
Right.
But in New York, I'm like, oh, wow, I feel free. Like, a shackle has been taken off, and you walk around, and random strangers are, like, talking to you, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
We're having a conversation.
Exactly.
Next thing you know, they're your friend, and you're, like, sharing beer.
Exactly.
It's, like, crazy. But I love that. So I feel like with that, it also ties in with me pushing away from, like, illustrative works and, like, paintings. I mean, I still do, like, portrait stuff, but, like, for money.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it also ties in with that because I feel now I have like more freedom to do whatever I want. So like kind of ties in with that.
So you feel like you're less restrained in your art because you're from New York City and like nobody knows you?
Well, more like the idea of being in New York City and like not knowing a lot of people and feeling free is also like with my art. Like feeling free and being able to do whatever. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have like what were your top like influences in art? Generally
As in, like,
speaking.
Artist or
Just in general.
just anything?
Just any artist.
Okay, so the first one is Olivier de Zagazan. He's a French artist who does sculpture works and performances. The other one is Bill Viola. I love his installation works, and also he does like video installations. So I like really love his work. And then there's Cy Twombly. I just love his stuff, and like I don't know, I feel like whenever I see their work, I just feel even more liberated.
Right.
And that's great because I don't feel like they make art because someone told them to do something. Like, if you look at the type of artwork that they make, it's like it just came straight out of them rather than an instructor saying, why don't you do this?
Right.
Type thing. So I'm like, yes.
So there's a sort of, because you go to art school, right?
Yeah.
So how does that shape you? Because it's kind of different because, you know, art isn't really something you can teach, just sort of like, you know, guide and give examples of. So how do you feel like art school has, you know, shaped you?
For the most part, I
think
like
people should go to art school?
I mean, some people, if they want to, go ahead, spend your money. I wouldn't recommend it, but because I like the professors who aren't very strict in their assignments. By that I mean they are not the ones telling you, oh, I want you to make a geometric painting. Like my first year, where my painting professor, I won't say her name, because she's pretty well known, she was just telling us to make a lot of geometric paintings. And I was like, what the heck? That's not what I want to do. So I started taking classes with professors who are like, do whatever you want, but here, I'll give you a little like push, you know, just to guide you in case you're stuck. And they just give me one word. But for some reason, that's like enough for me to be like, oh my gosh, I have like 10 million ideas. Yeah, so I like that about art school.
But it's a waste of money. But you get to meet new people, you get to meet new artists, and that's worth.
Exactly.
That's worth the $40,000 a year.
Yup.
Yeah, I went to Brooklyn. I only paid $6 a year.
Must be nice.
I mean, I dropped that, so not that nice.
Still must be nice. You're probably gonna finish paying that off if you took out loans. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna leave now.
It's just half a deal.
Yeah. Yikes.
Maybe you should get into real estate.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. I know nothing about how to sell things.
Most people in Queens don't either.
Well, all right. I'm perfect for the job.
There you go. So, real quick before you go, anything else you want to add? Anything you want to leave with? Any upcoming, works, shows you have coming up?
I never tell about upcoming events. Even if I already know that they're coming, I won't announce it until like a few weeks before.
Oh, so it's like a couple months from now.
Yeah, because I don't want to jinx it.
Oh.
Yeah.
What month?
I'm not going to say that either.
It's in spring?
No.
Summer?
Maybe.
Winter?
Maybe.
Fall?
I'm not.
Is it in New York City?
Maybe, maybe not. I'm not gonna.
It's in New York City in the summer. Yes.
Yeah.
Anything you want to leave with?
Yeah.
What are your last words?
Oh, jeez.
Perfect.
Okay. No, I actually have something.
Okay.
Whatever idea you have, even if it seems too ambitious, as far as like whether it's like the materials or the cost or whatever, still go for it. Because you'll be able to do it, and you'll surprise yourself. Yeah.
Awesome. It was so fun having you.
Yeah. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah. Sorry about last time.
Cool.
I was actually